At the age of 12 years old, I rolled my first blunt. At the age of 13 was when I actually smoked my first blunt. I started drinking. I started going out with friends. I was only the age of 15. I lost my virginity. I would go to church. I would hear about how he loves us and how he died on the cross for us, and all of that just sounded bogus in my head. Hi, my name's Audrey. I just wanted to share my testimony. I'm 19 years old. I gave my life to Jesus 2 years ago, 2.5 actually. I grew up in church. I've been coming since I was 8 years old. I came just solely because my mom would come. So obviously, the parent comes, you have to come as a child. I would come and I would hear about Jesus all the time. It didn't really do anything for me. I didn't feel any conviction because I would just ignore everything. I would just have it go in one ear and out the other ear. Before I moved in with my mom, I was born and handed over to my tia and my tío to raise me. So I called my tío and my tia mom. My mom was addicted to drugs, which led me to getting passed over to them. She was not capable of raising us, me or my brother. I grew up seeing her hooked to drugs, seeing her every other weekend. It really did take a toll on me, just not knowing what she was doing or where she was. Every time I would see her every other weekend, it would be with a different guy. It would be in a different car. It would be a different environment, just completely. I also had my biological father, who I would see every other weekend as well. He started molesting me at the age of 5 years old, and all the way up until I was 8, I believe. Growing up, I didn't tell anybody about it. It was just a secret that was between me and him. It ate me up inside for a lot of years. And then I remember 7th grade is when I finally told someone, and I then told my mom, who then reported it, and my dad had ended up going to jail. During that period of time, I started turning to drugs. At the age of 12 years old, I rolled my first blunt. At the age of 13 was when I actually smoked my first blunt. I started taking pills, getting laced blunts with my friends, not caring really what was going on or what was happening, or what I was smoking. I didn't care about the outcome or what was going to happen by doing these things. I didn't care about really what my life was turning into, even though I saw firsthand what it could lead to. My parents' situation. High school, I started drinking. I started going out with friends. I was only the age of 15. I lost my virginity. I started sleeping around with this boy. I started sleeping around with girls. I formed a very self-hate towards myself, towards men in general. I couldn't be next to them. I couldn't trust them. Constantly was just in my head that they're exactly like my dad. They all just are the same. They're all perverts. They're all gross. I started leading away towards Jesus in general. Like, I would hear him, I would go to church, I would hear about how he loves us and how he died on the cross for us, and all of that just sounded bogus in my head. I kept talking to myself and saying how it's just a fairy tale, even though around that time I started feeling like God was calling me. I started feeling him more, drawing me closer to him. I would be high, I would be drunk, and I would just feel Jesus. I would feel him in my heart, and I wouldn't be able to shake the feeling off. Finally, I was 16. I had just gotten cheated on. I had just got left, and I felt very lonely at that time. I felt very broken. I finally came back to church and gave my life to Jesus, and after that, God's delivered me from the smoking, from the drinking, from the depression that I was leading into, from the suicidal thoughts that was going in my head constantly. The more I came to church, the more God showed me his love, the more he showed me his unconditional love. It was just an overwhelming experience. I started fading away from the drugs, from the friends that I would hang out with that influenced that in my life. I started witnessing to them, telling them about Jesus and how he's done all these things in my life. And I've been living for him ever since. If you're watching this, I encourage you to give your life to Jesus, no matter how broken you feel, no matter how lost or young you may feel. I was only 15, and I was 16, and I was already at my lowest point. You don't have to be super young. You don't have to be extremely old and thinking, oh, I already wasted my life away. It's never too late or too early to give your life to Jesus. I recommend that you give your life to him, and it'll be completely worth it.